This is the Ad Hero Podcast, the podcast that reveals marketing tips, trends, and techniques by industry experts, insiders, and influencers. For years, AdSymble has helped businesses develop and launch campaigns to amplify their message, establish authority, and earn their lion's share of the market. This podcast will help you design and supercharge your plan to make an impact with valuable lessons you can apply in your business today. To get more information or start now, visit adsymbol.com. That's ADSEMBLE.com. Let's get started.
Welcome to the Ad Hero Quick Hitter.
The Ad Hero Podcast Quick Hitter?
The Ad Hero Podcast Quick, or just the Quick. You know what? It's a totally different show.
Okay.
Welcome to the Quick Hitter, brought to you on the AdSymble universe.
There you go.
My name is Gino Giovanni.
And I'm Matthew Livieri. Two Rasta horns for that.
There we go. There we go.
All right, we had to come together. We had to assemble at AdSymble to put this special Quick Hitter together because a major movie just recently dropped. This is, of course, The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson and Colin Farrell as the Penguin, as well as a lot of other well-known actors. What's his name? Lenny Kravitz's daughter, Zoe Kravitz,
right.
is in this film as Catwoman. Major movie that has been in production for a long time, and we have been getting a lot of questions from people asking us, what do you guys think is the better movie, this brand new version of The Batman or Spider-Man No Way Home? And so we just felt, you know what? Best to answer that question on a Quick Hitter on the podcast so that Gino and myself could engage in some friendly debate. Well, that depends if he sees it the same way I do, of course, because I actually think we're probably on the same page about which movie we actually thought was better.
Yeah, I saw you on my polling on Instagram.
That's right. That's right. You already know where I stand on this. But, nevertheless, we figured, hey, that's what Quick Hitters are all for. Let's go ahead and just, get this information out there and ultimately ask you guys, the listening audience, to give us some feedback. Which movie did you like more? So we're huge fans here of the MCU, and in this case, the DCU, as the two go head-to-head. But, Gino, The Batman, we went and checked it out together. It's so good to be back in the theaters with the smell of that popcorn and the comfortable seats. And this was actually a movie that they did not release on streaming services. Right now, as we're going further and further away from the COVID 2 years of time that we had, movies are now demanding to be back in the theaters first for some time before they come out on streaming services. This was a movie that they exclusively released to the movie theater first that you had to go see in the theater.
Yes.
And we went and checked that out together.
Yes.
So, open-ended question for you right out of the gate, before we get into the IMDb stats or the Rotten Tomato stats. What was your first gut reaction to The Batman?
I had to go in with a really open mind because I kept hearing some bad things and then some things I was like, okay, that might sound good. I guess the gut reaction was it was okay, but it was one of those movies, which is rare for me, that I really had to take some time out and kind of figure out what was this movie about. What did I like about it? What I didn't like about it? So I liked the cinematography. I liked the kind of noir kind of look.
Yes.
That was something different. It kind of reminded me of the Batman animated series in the 90s.
That's correct.
There was, I like the beginning. I like that the criminals get scared, because of a vigilante when they see the bat light in the sky. There's a little bit of politics stuff in it. That didn't really get to me, but it was definitely there. And I really contemplate, and I just think what was this movie really about?
Right.
I don't know if I can really explain it.
Yeah, I share a similar opinion with you. I think I left the theater. Well, first of all, let's talk about the running time. Okay. It's over 3 hours long.
2 hours, 56 minutes.
Oh, wow. It felt like it was over 3 hours long. It did not need to be that long. No. Let me just say that. They could have shortened it up quite a bit and still got the point across. I left the theater similar to you, kind of scratching my head what the hell did I just experience? Also a big fan of the noir style of cinematography. Huge fan of the, you like in many scenes, in the early scenes, you don't see him. You just see it's all pitch black and you hear noises and the criminals are getting scared.
That was dope.
Where is he?
I like that.
That was pretty dope. That was very reminiscent of the early day comics and the cartoon series. I like that. The bad guys, specifically the Riddler and Penguin, which Penguin was just like a giant wuss, in my opinion. I don't even know what the hell his purpose served. I mean, he just gets slapped around and he doesn't really do anything.
Well, we see his rise, I guess.
A little bit at the end. It's kind of like a teaser to a would-be sequel, where maybe the Penguin is now going to emerge as something formidable. So maybe that was the purpose, was to show that he was like weak, before, and then he rises in power. Okay, fine. I buy that. But, the Riddler and his antics. Here's the one thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. You have this like version of the Batman where they're showing like he's like his tech isn't that great. It's a lot of like basic rudimentary things. He's driving like an older car that he's souped up a little bit.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
But at the same time, you get like these mixed signals that maybe there's like a modern day internet feel to the deal. Like the Riddler uses like I don't want to say a Facebook group because they don't call it a face, but he uses like the internet to like get together, like almost like a Reddit group or like followers of his antics, and they all kind of come together and they all join in on the chaos at the end.
The dark web.
I guess you could call it the dark web. You also have these other scenes where when the criminals are getting abusing a civilian or something like that, you have some of the criminals pulling out their cell phones to like capture it, like almost like a viral video that they're going to try to create. I didn't understand that. It's like if you're going to show like old cars like from the 1970s and 80s, and you're going to show like old, like Batman has old tech, like not that. Although he had one, I guess he had those like contact lenses that were kind of like he could like see stuff. So that was like new tech.
Right.
So it was just like, to me, it was like too much of a push pull. Like, I don't know what era you're putting me in.
Right.
Are you putting me like in the 1970s, 80s era? Or are you putting me like in the 2020 era? Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't like that. I didn't like that. It's like, keep me in one era. Right? Like that was a big thing I had against the movie. But also, again, the running time way longer than it needed to be. And finally, last thing I'll say about it is I didn't like how weak Robert Pattinson played Batman. Like he was very emo. He was very. It was like a continuation of his character from the Twilight series.
Pretty much.
Quiet, dark circles under his eyes. I don't know. It's weird. And then like Alfred is like his dad. Alfred is like this like strong alpha guy in his life that's like almost like slapping him down and going, Bruce, you shouldn't be out there doing this and that. Like you almost feel like I mean, I guess at one point he kind of claps back at him a little bit and says,
right.
You're not my dad, this and that. But nevertheless, the way the actor that they got to play Alfred, he looks more of a badass to me than Batman did.
Yeah.
And so that aspect of it I also did not care for. So, I initially had a lot of high hopes for that movie, and I will say that I was disappointed when I left the theater.
Andy Serkis was his name, by the way, who played Alfred. The I just need an answer to this question. Why is it that Warner Brothers feels that they have to remake Batman like every 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, it's really whack.
I understand there was a lot of back and forth and shenanigans. Well, maybe not shenanigans, but a lot of bad stuff that happened behind the scenes with Batflick. And, he was writing the story, then he didn't finish the story. He was going to direct all this stuff. And Matt Reeves ended up taking over. He at first Batman was kind of like a badass. He starts off with the whole thing like on vengeance.
Yes,
that was kind of cool.
That was cool.
And then I like the detective part, how he turned into like, or how they really focus on the detective work. But then it's like he became this humanitarian, and like I've never seen Batman like that before.
Right.
It's like, okay, are you neutering Batman? Okay, this is not what Batman is.
Right.
It doesn't have to be comic accurate, but it at least keep with the folklore of it.
The other shocking thing, and you guys can find this on the internet, especially on Instagram, there was a whole 3-minute segment, a 3-minute clip of the Joker.
That's right.
Where he sits down and interrogates the Joker to get his opinion about the Riddler's antics. Okay, they struck that from the movie.
Right.
That did not make the final cut. It wasn't even a bonus scene at the end of the credits.
And that was a good scene.
It was a great scene. It was a great scene. People were like, I don't know who the actor was that they got to play the Joker.
Yeah, it's that guy from the Eternals.
Right. But people were like commenting like, dude, you're like right up there with Heath Ledger in that kind of attitude that you gave, or that performance that you gave in just that 3-minute clip. And then that would have been a fantastic teaser to a would-be maybe Batman 2 with that actor playing Joker. He breaks out of Arkham Asylum and, goes on a rampage and all this stuff. So again, why did they cut that out, but they still felt it was okay to make a 3-hour movie? Like, no clue.
Rumor has it that it just didn't go with the movie, which I thought was kind of weird, because it's like, well, then why did you make that? Why did you write it in? I mean, I can understand. Look, movies all the time get like cut.
Sure.
But that was
a great scene.
That was actually a pretty good scene.
That was a great scene.
Yeah.
Now, by comparison,
Barry Keoghan.
Thank you. Yes, great actor, great portrayal of that. Go on his Instagram page and you can see the whole deleted clip. By comparison, or by contrast perhaps, Spider-Man No Way Home, probably one of the best movies I've ever seen in recent time that I can even think of.
It was pretty good.
And I watch a ton of movies, both online, streaming, in the theater, stuff like that. Spider-Man No Way Home, for me, literally had every single thing that I wanted going into that movie. I walked into that movie with super high hopes, and I was blown away. I got even more than what I thought I was going to get.
Yes.
I also walked into that movie. They did such a good job of concealing the fact that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire were going to appear in this movie. And not only just like in like a dream sequence or something, like a single scene or a single clip. No, they had formidable parts in the movie. You could not find their names on IMDb. I'm talking Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield. You could not find their names in the credits on IMDb before the release of the movie. You couldn't find their names listed anywhere. They did such a good job of concealing that so that it would just be this super awesome fan reveal to the fans. And when they both came out in that scene of the movie, and I saw the movie like several weeks after it had come out for a number of reasons, like things were going on and it was hard to get tickets. Like it was the crowd that was still in the movie theater when I went all started cheering.
Yes.
And I feel like that cheer effect probably happened like on every showing.
It's one of the good reasons to go to a Marvel movie in the theaters.
I just, this is the thing I have to say. Time and again, when they do DC movies, they screw it up. They really do.
Yeah.
Most times they screw it up. I mean, the only one that I like of recent times was the Snyder cut of Justice League.
Oh yeah, I thought that was better.
And that wasn't even the original. I mean, the original cut had was it Joss Whedon or something like that? Or
well, originally it was Snyder, and then it went to Josh Whedon,
and he ruined it,
Snyder,
and then back to Snyder. And the Snyder cut was actually legit. That was a sick movie. That was great.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have to go. For me, you have to go way back to I guess Dark Knight with Heath Ledger, amazing movie, one of my most favorite of all times. Okay, DC film, that's good. Okay. But most times they screw it up. I'm just not really a biggest DC movie fan. Wonder Woman was okay.
I liked Wonder Woman.
One was okay.
Shazam was pretty good.
Shazam wasn't bad, but I mean, for me, for my money, it's all about the MCU.
Yeah.
Avengers, Spider-Man, Thor, Hulk. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Doctor Strange.
Coming up.
Amazing. So, hands down, for my money, Spider-Man No Way Home takes the cake. It's not even a battle, really. They're not even in the same wheelhouse. I question where they go with this Batman series. If they try to come out with a sequel starring Robert Pattinson and I guess this other actor that played the Joker, well, he's got big shoes to fill. Right. Because the last Joker that everybody knows is Heath Ledger. And that's his portrayal of the Joker was so iconic, so amazing, that this guy is really going to have to step up his game to try to even come close to that realm. And he might be able to do it because that 3-minute clip was so powerful.
Yeah.
But the problem is he's going up against, or he's going against a really weak Batman portrayal of a Batman from Robert Pattinson. So unless Robert Pattinson like steps up his game and makes Batman more of a badass, then maybe that sequel could be legit. Because if Robert Pattinson steps up his game as a badass, and then you have this guy playing the Joker, and he really does a good job, that could be an amazing film. But as I see it right now, based on what you and I saw in the theater, not a fan at all.
Let me say this in the onset. Spider-Man No Way Home hit me on so many angles.
Yep.
I laughed. I was sad.
Yep.
I was angry. Like,
oh, dude, the final scene, man.
Yeah.
And we don't want to ruin it for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, but man, that final scene of the movie is a tearjerker, man.
It's like, I didn't, just like you said, I didn't expect that.
Right.
And for a movie to do that, I've been, the older I get, I realize like the ways that movies can do that to me,
right,
I think is like powerful.
Right.
And I didn't get any of that in the Batman. I didn't get any emotion, pretty much. I just watched. And so for the part of like entertainment wise,
yep,
okay, they both were entertaining, but I knew here's what I figured out what Spider-Man is about. It's about saving his friends.
Yes.
Or it's about his friends and his relationship with the friends.
Big time.
I can't really say that about Batman. Like I don't know.
We don't know what it's about.
Yeah, he does. He goes through a transition from vengeance to humanitarian.
Yep.
But I don't think that's what it was really about.
We'll never know unless we have Matt Reeves on the Ad Hero podcast as a guest.
Yeah.
Maybe we can ask him, say, what the hell was your point in that movie?
Right.
He might walk off the set. but nevertheless, we'll try to ask him.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I couldn't agree with you more. So, moral of the story, we like to do these quick hitters. They're just snapshots of some opinions we have for you guys because we love to hear your feedback. What do you guys think? The Batman movie with Robert Pattinson or Spider-Man No Way Home? Which one's better and why? Drop us some comments. Let us know on social media. Give us a like and a follow. Smash that follow button. All that good stuff. Help us train the algorithm, how much you guys love the Ad Hero podcast. But most importantly, just give us some feedback. Which movie did you like more and why? We want to see if you agree with us. And hey, if you don't, that's okay too. But
movies are subjective.
But back up your statement with some facts. We don't like these half-baked opinions around here at the Ad Hero podcast.
Yeah, the trolls.
Where you just throw stuff out there. Back it up with some facts. Why? If you did like Batman more than Spider-Man No Way Home, why? Back it up. Let's go.
Especially that goes for the DC fanboys.
There you go. There you go. All right. That's a good episode. So thanks for tuning in, guys. This is
Gino Giovanni.
And I'm Matthew Livieri. We'll catch you next time.